がもんじゃないぜ right now 歓喜は待つかざした my hands 感傷 baby be survivor
What's going on, people? PM Prime, Anthony's Anime on the Gods of Anime channel. Gonna be doing a review of a show that a lot of people in the fandom don't particularly appreciate. They shit on it. And I really don't get most of the hate this show gets. I can see why, but it's too extreme, because it doesn't, I don't know, to me it doesn't offend me, you know what I mean? And that show is Saint Seiya Omega. It ended last season, 97 episodes, so it's been going on for a while. And by G.O.A, and it's a good show. I enjoyed myself. There are problems with it, don't get me wrong. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my ride. And I'll tell you what I liked and what I didn't like. So, you know, because I'm a fair reviewer. Anyway, Saint Seiya Omega, like I said, 97 episodes. Let's start with the story here. The story takes place, let's say, 15 years after the end of the Elysium chapter, which is the stuff with Hades and stuff like that. If you haven't watched those previous OVAs from Saint Seiya, don't worry, you won't. It isn't necessary. This show, the whole purpose of this show was to introduce Saint Seiya to a new generation without having to worry about the backstory from the original Saint Seiya, from Lost Canvas, anything like that. So you could come in here fresh as a noob, and you can understand who these people are and whatever. So we have a new cast of characters, new villains, new everything. So the story here is, years ago, the original Saints, they're not original in the story, but original for us. You know, Seiya, Shun, Ikki, Shoga, Shiryu. There was a guy called Mars, another god, come in and fucked up people with dark energy. So now they can't do anything, the original Saints, because they've been affected. And if they burn their life energy, their cosmo, they will be enveloped by this darkness, and then they will die. So they're taken out of the picture, they give up, they just teach, they're in fucking seclusion and shit like that. That's strike number one. Because I do not believe that the original 5 Saints would give up like this. I do not believe that these original 5 Saints would just separate, go in their separate ways and shit like that. And just, whatever, pull a Yoda and Obi-Wan, go to fucking Tatooine and Dagobah and just fucking sit there and wait for shit. No, I don't believe that. But this is going to be a recurring theme where the original 5 are being shit on. And that's what most of the hate comes from. The original 5 Saints are being shit on. And it just continues throughout the whole series. Not as much as people like to make it seem, but it is a common problem. But whatever. So these new kids are being born and they're being trained. They're not being trained like they were trained in original Saint Seiya, fucking bloody, because this is, again, they have to streamline this. They gotta fucking be a little bit more PC, a little bit more kid friendly. So there's a school now to hasten their training, because before they would get their ass kicked for years and years. Here they're learning fast about all the new rules that they have to go through, because there are new rules here. There's new stuff to do. There's new stuff to interact with. Because after that war with Mars, who, I don't know why it's Mars, because Mars is a Roman god. Ares is the Greek god, and this is based on Greek mythology. I don't know why the fuck they did that, because I guess they used Ares in one of the other previous movies. the Heaven chapter, I believe. So they couldn't use Ares. They got to use Mars. Whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. So anyway, the cloths as they are before, they're not the same anymore. They don't carry them around in big fucking boxes. They're contained within little crystals that you have to activate with your Cosmo and stuff like that. And now there's an element system going on, like a rock, paper, scissors thing going. So you have lightning, fire, wind, water, dark, light, you know the usual shit. So they have that. And during the beginning, they don't explain where the fuck this comes from, how did this happen, but they explain it later, and I was kind of happy with the explanation. But after this initial arc with Mars is finished, that shit gets chucked aside, and and the old system with the boxes and shit is being brought back. I was happy about that. I guess they weren't happy with that shit. And that was another bone of contention for a lot of fans too, that crystal crap and the elements. But whatever. So yeah, you're introduced to these characters. You see their relationships grow. You see their powers grow. You see how they relate to people in the world, and it's all, it builds up, and it's a good finale. And there's a surprise twist at the end, which I felt wasn't earned. And then with the main character, Koga, there's a little thing with him with being born with a dual sort of Cosmo, light and dark. So they're fighting opposites, sort of thing. That the dark takes over him, and blah 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 blah. Stuff like that. It's interesting. And then right away they go to a next saga with a god called Pallas, which is like a sister to Athena. So there's this whole thing with more powerful thing. And this is like the level sort of thing with Dragon Ball. This guy's more powerful, you gotta be more powerful, you gotta get more powerful, shit like that. The original Saint Seiya didn't feel this way. It just felt like this is a god and whatever. If you're powerful enough, you can do it or whatever. There's a room to grow, but there's like not a fucking step, more powerful, Majin Buu bullshit. You know what I mean? So there's that little feeling. There's a little feeling about that. But that's all right. But this saga, I could tell they were stretching it a bit, because most of the guys, they fight multiple times. So you're kind of tired of seeing a couple of them. It's like they get away. It's like this never would happen. They would have been fucking dead. It would have been done. But, they save them for later so they can fight them again. And then they can fight them again. And then finally kill them. And it felt stretched. I don't know why they did that, but whatever. To make them more of a threat. But how much is he a threat when they're doing the Team Rocket shit? You know what I mean? Not literally Team Rocket blast off again with a fucking star coming out. But kind of like that. So they're not much of a threat. So in the second arc, now the old Saints come back, the original 5, because that shit with their darkness thing has been resolved. So now they can fight. They got their new fucking things, new cloths, so now they can fight properly. And initially they are treated as they should, as legends, as powerful and stuff like that. But then they start getting the bitch treatment, a little bit, because they start taking back seats. They start not being able to do things. They start getting taken out like bitches. And I don't like that. I mean, if you have the balls, go ahead, take them out, which I thought they were going to do, but it's Saint Seiya. People die and come back all the time. Die and come back all the time. It's happened before, it's happened now. But it's just so obvious towards the end of the show that everybody's going to be alive again. And they are. They all come back. Oh, his Cosmo disappeared. He comes back. Then a couple episodes later. Oh, whatever, man. I survived that shit. It's supposed to kill me. That attack, the Athena explanation. Pardon me. It takes 3 saints to unleash a gold saints to unleash a powerful single attack. It's supposed to kill them. All 3 of them. They come out the rubble and shit. Oh, I'm fine. What the fuck? Yeah, you know, like, no explanation, whatever. Doesn't matter. This is Saint Seiya. So, you know, big fucking thing going on here. Big battle. Finally, the last guy is more powerful, more powerful, more powerful. You can't break my sword. They break it. Next guy, you can't break my sword. They break it. You can't break. 4 times they do this, right? And usually these, like, boss fights, they go on for more than a few episodes. But here, this show is like 1 episode, this guy's done. 1 episode, maybe 2, this guy's done. This guy is the last one, so he takes a little bit longer. But I don't know. It felt less epic to me. Like going through the motions, you know what I mean? And then, of course, another twist. The new kid that was following them, something happens to him. I'm not going to spoil it. But that's the twist. They've been teasing it for a long-ass time. And, you know, gotta fight him, and it takes a couple episodes, and that's it. Everything's resolved. Everything's fine. He basically, the last bad guy basically just goes, alright, buddy, you kind of hurt me a little bit, but I'm just gonna leave you guys for now. And you win. Everything's back to normal. Okay, whatever, man. But all in all, it was a good show. I spent 10 minutes on that fucking story because it's so fucking complicated. It's Saint Seiya. It's gonna have a little bit of repetition. It's gonna have, you know, the specifics might be different, but the general thing is gonna be the same. Something happens to Athena. She either gets kidnapped, she gets stabbed, she gets an arrow in her that's counting down for hours. She getting her life force drained, and they gotta save her. And they gotta run upstairs and fight one dude one at a time. And that's how it is. That's Saint Seiya. That's pure old school shonen shit. This is the beginnings of shonen. Saint Seiya, Dragon Ball, Fist of the North Star. That's the basis of shonen of these days. And it's continuing on to this day. Let's talk about the animation. The animation is kind of the same. The style's kind of the same, but it's changed. It looks like Cast Her in Sins a little bit more, but a little bit less detailed than Cast Her in Sins was. And less detailed than the original Saint Seiya. Which is weird. It's kind of a mishmash, but it's a lot simpler. This is Toei, so they're going to do things on the cheap. The cloths, the first versions of the cloths they have are fucking simplified, garbage-looking things. I really hope it doesn't, because the old Saints cloths, they look like fucking armor panels, armor shit. They actually look like they're real, that you could actually do that, because that's how the toys look too. You could put the armor on, that's how they look. It's real world, actual implementation of these things. This one, I don't see them ever making toys of the version 1 things because they're so simplified. They actually do look like cloths, like a big fucking sock over his leg. You know what I mean? All the way up to his thigh. Big sock coming over his arm. And then there's a little crystal thing here. That's it. That's not a cloth. The only thing that could be done is his helmet or something. Maybe his shoulder pads, and that's it. But, like I said, after that first arc, they upgrade their cloths, and then it looks good. Now they're making toys of that. Because it's possible now. But those cloths bother me a lot. Animation is sometimes it's really good. Important parts is really good. Sometimes it's, you know, a little simplified and choppy. But whatever. This is Toei, like I said. This is what happens. Voice acting is good. They got the original Seiya back. Amuro Ray, voice actor. Cass Hearn, voice actor. They got him back to play Saint Seiya. And nobody else is around who did the original voice acting. Because some of them are dead. Some of them just move on. They're too old. Whatever. But I'm glad that he's back. All the other characters, they did good. Good voice acting. Good yelling and shit like that for attacks. So I have no problem with the voice acting. It's weird that they brought back the original dude, because in the previous OVAs, they replaced him. And now they bring him back. Like, dude, make up your mind. This dude is Saint Seiya. He's the man. You keep him. You know what I mean? So I guess they tried to fix that. But he's not around as much, so whatever. I guess it was an easier job for him to do. In terms of rewatchability and stuff like that, it's a long series. And like I said, it gets repetitive. Because that's by nature how Saint Seiya is. Like, Saint Seiya is like one of my favorite animes, but it will never be in any top 10 or maybe top 20 because of its repetitive nature. I just like the concept. I like some of the characters and stuff like that, and the looks. So it's in a weird boundary for me. So Saint Seiya Omega, I'd say it was good, but it has problems. Like I said, it treats some of the characters like bitches, the original characters like bitches. So I don't know how to feel about that. It kind of ends underwhelmingly, so I don't know. Definitely give it a shot. But I do suggest watching the first Saint Seiya, watching some of the movies, watching Lost Canvas, so that you get a grounding, a basis for it. Because I don't know if you would like Saint Seiya Omega if you were watching it from the beginning. You know what I mean? So it's a kind of double-edged sword. So if you like Saint Seiya, give it a shot. If you like shonen, give it a shot. But if anything I said to you kind of bothers you, stay clear away from it because it is repetitive. It is cliched. It is inferior to original, inferior to Lost Canvas. So, I don't know. It's a meh. It's alright. Saint Seiya Omega, you can give it a shot if you want, but it won't hurt my feelings if you don't.